Hi lovely people, this video is about Venus in the 7th house, part of my Venus through the House series. So, Venus, the planet of love, of our values, the things that we value in the 7th house of partnerships, one-to-one partnerships. And that can include business partnerships as well as romantic, but you know, traditionally we look at this house for marriage and long-term partnerships. It's a very good indicator. So having Venus here is it's an interesting placement. So providing this Venus is well supported, this can make the person very agreeable, very charming, somebody who attracts people very easily and does really well in social situations, is quite popular and just has quite a bit of charm and charisma about them that goes down really well with others. This can lead them into jobs or roles that involve negotiating or anything that's kind of like PR and public facing, because they're good at schmoozing, they're good at charming, they know what people want, they have a natural instinct for how to put people at ease, and so working with that can be really beneficial to them and can bring them good rewards. Now, in terms of relationships, this is somebody who likely feels a strong pull to be with a partner, the kind of person who you probably won't see single very often, doesn't like to be single, and feels that they can bring the best of themselves forward when they're in a partnership. And this all goes back to the fact that they understand what it takes to build a partnership. They know how to, instinctually, they know how to create balance and harmony within a partnership. They're very aware of that. So this is probably the person who should take the lead to a certain extent when it comes to you know, the emotions in a relationship. Obviously you should always have equal say, but because of the fact they have this naturally diplomatic and naturally kind of fair point of view, and they understand the kind of intricacies of keeping balance within relationships. This is somebody who you know, you can trust them. You can trust that they will do their best for your relationship, providing everything is, you know, provided Venus is supported here. There is a tendency, because of this nature, to sometimes bend too much and to allow too much and perhaps forego their own needs in order to keep the peace, which is something they need to watch out for, because, you know, they can afford to be honest about their desires and their needs. I apologise if you can hear any banging in the background. I think there's someone doing some work out the front. So yeah, they have to be careful not to put the desires and the needs and the wants of others before theirs, because, you know, doing so can lead to built up frustration and resentment if they're not careful. It's important with this placement that you don't use your charm and your ability to woo people in order to get your needs met. You don't use it in a manipulative manner, especially in relationships, you know, because there can be a tendency to do that. And because of not wanting to rock the boat or not wanting to upset someone, you might go a bit around the houses, you might use slightly subversive or manipulative tactics to get the things that you want and to have your emotional needs met. Guard against doing this if you can, because the thing is, people see the charm in you, they see how good you are with them, and that is just a given. But they know, people will be able to tell when you're trying to get something out of them and you're not being honest, or, you know, when you're not being straightforward about your needs or where you're at maybe in relationship. So that is something I would definitely guard against, because that can cause issues, and it can cause issues with trust. You can afford to be open, you can afford to be honest. You don't have to use your charm to win people over and get what you want all the time. You know, you can afford to be genuine and authentic, because you're intentions are, you know, they are good and your heart is in the right place. So yeah, this person has the charm factor, likely to invite a lot of proposals. You can see people getting a lot of marriage proposals with this placement, and marrying or having partners who are quite well-to-do, who maybe have maybe a regard, who have a high status. Marriage can bring in more wealth, a higher status, and they might work really well with their partner. For instance, if their partner has a business, they might work really great as a team within their partner's business, supporting that partner and working with them. And that might be quite harmonious, you know, because this placement essentially values peace and harmony, and it values relating. They like to see the best in people, which can sometimes mean that they're too willing to overlook people's flaws. So it's another thing to watch out for. But peace and harmony in relationships is very important to them, and they like to be viewed as having that ideal relationship and that ideal partner situation. That is important to them, and it's important to them to be regarded as somebody who conducts themselves with grace and with respect in relationships. They hold a lot of, how can I put it, there's a certain amount of self-esteem that's wrapped up in how they conduct their affairs when it comes to their business relationships and one-to-one relationships. With this placement, I would say there can be a tendency because of that to possibly stay in relationships that aren't suitable for them for too long, just to be in the relationship, just to keep up that appearance. I have to watch out for not getting caught up in that. Now, if Venus is harshly aspected, say you've got Pluto opposing your Venus in the 7th house, relationships will be definitely an area of transformation and growth in terms of learning how to value yourself. And you might find that if you have got quite a few tense aspects between your Venus and other planets in the 7th house, you might find that actually part of your learning in this life is to not place your value in others or in the view of others, to not give that away to a certain extent. You know, you might find that a big part of your growth is learning how to value yourself and love yourself without the need for someone else to see you a certain way, or without the need for someone else's appreciation or approval. So it could be that this ends up being a catalyst for better self-understanding and self-acceptance. You know, especially if you've got something like Pluto involved, there can be a tendency to want to be attracted to crisis-laden relationships, and there can be a lot of possessiveness and projection and a lot of hurt feelings because of the romantic relationships that you experience. And maybe even in business you might find, you know, you experience betrayal, things like that. Power struggles will be a big theme as well. And ultimately, what you're being asked to do, if that's the case, is to transform. Love is asking you to transform into somebody who claims their own power and values themselves and takes that Venus, and rather than kind of giving it away and saying, hey, I'm only worth something if somebody loves me, or if somebody's committed to me, or if I'm in a relationship. Instead of giving it away, it's about bringing it back and saying, I am worthy, and what is it? I am worthy, and I have enough to give, and I am enough, and I'm not in relationship to take. I'm in relationship to give, and not just to kind of take from others their appreciation, their approval, their energy. So it really depends on how Venus is aspected, but certainly relationships will be, they'll be very important to somebody with this placement. and you will see that either they will be the kind of person that's kind of very committed and very very relationship focused, you know, or they could end up becoming very embittered and cynical because of hard lessons and hard experiences that they've been through in love. So it just very much depends on the rest of your chart. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that reading. Thank you for watching. If you want to find out more about me, then head to my website. I'll be popping a link up somewhere here. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.